Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my report on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, April 20th, 2024. This earth-shaking, groundbreaking, once-in-84-year transit. Now, while Jupiter and Uranus come together once every 12 years, they only come together in Taurus the way they are now, once every 84 years. So we're going to talk about the potentials for this time. We're going to jump back to the last time Jupiter and Uranus were together, and then the last time they were together in Taurus to give a little bit of context, and then I'll refer you to some resources I created to see how this may affect your specific sign. The time range of this aspect being most powerful is around April 8th through around May 8th, even though it actually happens on April 20th. There is a time of closeness with these planets leading up to the exact conjunction and then trailing off after. And really, because this is such a big time and a very major connection, we can see storylines leading up to this period of time and trailing even longer than that. But the most powerful manifestation time will be for about a month from early April through the first week or so of May. To better understand the possibilities of this connection, think about each of the individual planets and then think about the sign. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's also known as the Great Benefic, the expander. People for a long time have been calling Jupiter a lucky planet, a benevolent planet. And this is, for many thousands of years. And one time recently when I was writing a book on astrology, in my research process, I came across information about how astronomically Jupiter actually, the gravitational field, the giant gravitational field exuded from this very massive planet actually protects all the other planets that are closer to the sun, including the Earth, from having the planets beyond Jupiter pull in and smash into them. So things that the ancients have said about Jupiter, we actually know now astronomically is confirmed that Jupiter actually is a protector. It's a protector to our planet. It's a protector to the golden ratio of how everything is held together. And it carries this energy. So there is an expansive energy, there's an amplification energy, there's a protective energy, and then Uranus is the energy of a lightning strike, of genius ideas, of forward thinking. It rules the sign of Aquarius, which is forward thinking, technological advancements. And Jupiter rules the sign Sagittarius, which is the broad sage on the mountain, looking at the bigger picture and finding solutions. So just from the perspective of looking at the combination of those energies, we can see this can be a very monumental time with significant change and innovation, especially in areas ruled by Jupiter, such as teaching and learning and international connections, also ruled by Uranus, so Aquarius, groups, communities, online, internet, technological things, and then the energy of Taurus, which is where I get the ground shaking, earth shaking, groundbreaking from. Could this increase the odds of earthquakes? Absolutely. I hope that doesn't happen, but this is a literal groundbreaking, earth shaking, energetic, and also from the perspective of other manifestations that it can provide. So this rare alignment, the combination will include these themes of Jupiter, expansion, growth, and optimism, with the Uranus associations of sudden change and breakthroughs and, rebelling against the norm or new things, all with the stable and practical sign of Taurus. Okay, so there is an earthiness to this. There is a groundedness to this. There is a systematic approach to this. So some ways we might see effects are financial innovation and disruption. So we'll likely see breakthroughs in financial systems and their technologies, such as advancements in crypto, digital banking, and new ways of managing wealth and resources. There also can be sudden shifts in the economy. Of course, these things can happen at any time, but it is an increased likelihood of something dramatic happening there. It could lead to financial freedom for some, but it could lead to instability for others. Anyone who's not ready or willing to adapt new economic paradigms or new changes may have more trouble assimilating the information that can come in from this transit. Something else we may see is a redefinition of values and material possessions. So the conjunction can prompt a collective reevaluation of what is truly valuable and encourage shifts towards sustainable, eco-friendly solutions and the importance of quality over quantity. These are very important understandings that we can get from the higher vibration of Taurus. So the ways that society views ownership, material wealth, and consumption can definitely undergo radical changes. We may see this in major movements towards simplification. So, in the beginnings of agrarian times, we had simple lives, and many people in the complexity of current life have longed for the simplicity again. Does that mean everyone throws out their computers? Not necessarily, but there can be balance found, and this transit can help us to find that. And innovation can lead the front about how we can actually simplify. But, there is a balance to be found, and there is a connection with the earth and the cycles and the rhythms of the earth. There can be sudden growth and opportunities. So Jupiter's influence could magnify the impact of the Uranus surprises, and this can lead to unexpected opportunities for growth and expansion. Things that come out of the blue, sudden job offers, unexpected financial gains, rapid development in personal projects or investments. It's definitely a time to be open to the unexpected and to take a calculated risk that won't leave you, I wouldn't bet everything on it, right? Because it could make you lose everything. But if you have something extra to put into something, it could pay off big time. This is also a time that embracing change in personal values may happen. So you may suddenly break free from a traditional value or limitation that doesn't serve you, or you may suddenly return to something that was more simple and less complicated as these current times have, created. Something else that can happen is environmental and agricultural innovations. So, Taurus is closely connected to the earth. And this conjunction could spark revolutionary approaches to environmental conservatism and agriculture and how we interact with nature. And you can make innovation just in your life, or you can do something different or return to something, an idea of connecting to the earth. Innovative solutions to climate change and sustainable farming can all happen at this time. So any energy that's put towards that can definitely can go very far in a very short amount of time. So let's talk about a few things about when Jupiter and Uranus got together last time. So the conjunctions that occurred with Jupiter and Uranus in June 2010 through January 2011 took place in Aries and then Pisces. So this wasn't Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, which is the point of the 84-year cycle, right? So the last time Jupiter and Uranus conjuncted in Taurus, that was in 1941. And we'll get back there. But I want to give you some examples of what happened between 2010 and 2011, the last time the planets got together in a different sign, just to understand the types of things that can occur now. The iPad was released, and there was a huge rise in the use of smartphones and social media. So, this is an example of that technological advancement and that innovation and that forward thinking Uranus type of energy with the amplification and the expansion of Jupiter coming together. That was a very big moment in history. There are so many examples, a lot of scientific breakthroughs. Scientists created the first artificial life form. The first human embryo was created using the DNA of 3 people. These kinds of things were, really powerful. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN began smashing particles together. SpaceX launched the first commercially built and operated spacecraft. So different types of advancements are very likely. So be looking, I don't tend to watch the news myself because there's often a lot of drama, but if you can find a source where there isn't a lot of negativity that you can trust, you'll probably find that there are going to be a lot of advancements at this time that will be very, very exciting. So now dialing back to 1941, when Jupiter and Uranus got together in Taurus before, this was a very, very, very big time as well for many different areas of life, as we will see again this time. There was a lot of advancement in the technology used for wartime because, of course, we were involved in a world war during that period of time. And there were a lot of changes. Things like women in the UK and the US were called to work in the factories. So they had to make the equipment and they had to keep everything going while men were at war. And this was a very big advancement for women. This was a very big advancement, just in societal structure. And there were a lot of technological advances having to do with specific wartime needs that created technological boosts along the lines of computers and computing and aircrafts and, everything that has flavored what we do today. In Britain, the first jet aircraft was flown, and that, of course, has revolutionized how we experience travel. There will be countless ways that this transit can affect us personally with things that we're working on in our personal day-to-day lives, as well as in the global scene and everything in between, communities, relationships, how we do everything. I have information on specific sign manifestations, so how each sign, where in the chart for each sign this conjunction is happening in my April reports. There are a few ways you can get to these reports. I will link the playlist at the end here for YouTube viewers. The link will be in the notes underneath the podcast for podcast viewers. And on YouTube, I will also put in the top corner a clickable link to get to the playlist for my April reports. So if you find a playlist player, just look for the April reports for your sign. And if you know your rising sign, you can also watch for there. And if you're having trouble using any of these resources, you can just go directly to www.anniehelpsyou.com/astrology. As a fun side note, Uranus is also one of the rulers of astrology. So there's a very good chance that the advancement or acknowledgement of astrology as an ancient art and science could happen as well. And if you are wanting to use astrology more in your life, I can help you do that. I have a course, a Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course, and I have a Basics course. You can see my courses at www.lumelife.com, LUMELIFE.com. I hope this works out really well for you and that any changes are welcome, and I'll see you in the next report. Bye.